Welcome. My name's Rachel. I'm one of the wine merchants here at Total Wine, and I'm thrilled to be part of our wine tasting series. Today, I have a good friend here, Leslie Sbrocco, and she's going to join us and taste through some of our top 20 wines that made our list this year. Leslie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Rachel. How are you today?
Wonderful.
Good. I'm ready to sip some wines, taste some wine.
Leslie, before we jump into that, why don't you give us a little bit of background about who you are and what you do?
Well, I drink for a living. That is my job, and travel and eat. So let's qualify it, and travel and eat. I have the great fortune of hosting a television show for the past 15 seasons, of which we are proud partners with Total Wine and More. And it's called Check Please Bay Area on KQED on PBS. I also host a national PBS series entitled 100 Days, Drinks, Dishes, and Destinations. And I've written 2 books about wine. I travel the world, maybe not right now, but I travel the world exploring wine, and I judge wine in wine competitions. I even make a little bit of wine. And so my life is speaking about, talking about, communicating, and sipping and enjoying wine and spirits.
I love it. Well, you said 15 years for the show. It's funny. We're going to talk about our top 20 list, and this is our 15th year putting out the top 20 list. So what a coincidence.
There we go. A lot of celebrations with these wines that we can toast to.
All about it. So before we jump into the tasting, we're going to taste our top 6 today. But before we jump into it, I just want to give a little bit of background about the top 20 lists and how we kind of come to be. So this is a list of 20 wines that our wine buyers have searched high and low for. We've traveled to wineries, we've traveled to regions, we've tasted hundreds of wines to be able to really come up with a list that compiles, the best of the best. So a great quality that's not going to break your bank, which I think is really important nowadays. And it helps our customers be able to really delve into the wide array of wine that we have. So I'm really excited to kind of look through these top 6 with you.
Well, I think the whole top 20 list is really a wonderful adventure in a glass. And the top 6 that we will talk about certainly bring the world of wine to each individual person. So I think you did an excellent job on picking that top 20 list.
Thank you so much. Well, let's pick up the first one. So this is actually wine number 6 we're going to start. We're going to count backwards today. So wine number 6, this is the Venstone Pinot Noir Tri-Appellation. So this is from Joe Wagner. Some people might know him as the owner and winemaker of Belle Gloss. So he really knows his way around Pinot. He is somebody who always delivers on a full-bodied, fruit-forward Pinot Noir. And I know we said tri-appellation. This is 3 different regions that are well known in California. So you have Sonoma, you have Monterey, and you have Santa Barbara. All that delivers some really, really amazing fruit that go into Pinot Noir.
I mean, I love Pinot Noir because it's a great variety that pleases so many people. It makes styles of wine from light and delicate and earthy and age-worthy in places like Burgundy to rich and lush and velvety like in California, like this wine. So it can span a lot of styles and a lot of ranges. And so when I look at this, I think this is definitely an example of a Pinot Noir with personality and with lushness. So it brings the California sunshine to the fruit by giving you this really dark berry kind of fruit character, deep saturated color, and dark berry character. And then you put your nose in it and you get almost, cherry pie and this lovely sort of peppery kick to it. So it's got a lot going on in the glass, and it is certainly a Pinot Noir that people who enjoy fuller bodied styles will really love. But you do have with those, with Sonoma and Monterey and Santa Barbara County, it's warm. I live in Sonoma County. It's warm, but you have cooling breezes depending upon where these vineyards come from, especially in Monterey and Santa Barbara County as well, that allow those grapes to soak in the sunshine and get ripe during the day. And then the cooling breezes at night sort of zip in the flavors and keep the acidity so you can have a core of freshness around it. So it's a delicious Pinot. Mm-hmm.
I love this Pinot, and I think it's going to pair well with so many things. I know, we're talking about getting into the holidays not too far off. So for me, I'd love to put this on my Thanksgiving table, with a turkey, but also just be able to have it on its own even before the meal starts because it's so nice and juicy.
You know what? And you can do this with, as you said, with it's an ideal wine for the holiday table because it pleases, people who like a lighter style of red wine. It won't combat all the sweet and savory flavors on for example, a turkey table. But it will complement all those flavors. And so, but yeah, grilled pork loin would be a fantastic one with this, with a little mushrooms on the side. It's very, very flexible. Actually, this is a good porch wine too. If you want to sit outside and just have a nice glass of red wine, this has enough suppleness to just enjoy on its own as well.
I love it. Well, let's move on to our number 5 wine. So we're going to move into a party in a glass. So this is the Barrasso DOCG. This is our lowest price. And I love, the bottle is so beautiful.
It's very
gold.
festive, isn't it?
It is so, it's a party.
It's a festive bottle of wine. And I'm a huge Prosecco fan. I'm a huge bubble fan. Let me just qualify my passion for sparkling wine by saying I could talk about sparkling wine all over the world all day long and all night long. I could sip it and drink it. So being a Prosecco fan, I have visited the region and we're lucky enough in the glass right now, you mentioned DOCG, and that's the highest quality level that you can get in Italy. And so this actually comes from a very tongue-twisting name of a place called Valdobbiadene. Say that with me, Rachel. Valdobbiadene. There we go. Valdobbiadene. It's one of the towns anchoring this highly regarded region in northern Italy, in northeastern Italy. About an hour and a half drive from Venice. And really, it's Prosecco Superiore. That's the name of it for a reason, because you get this complexity. It's still fresh. It's called the welcome wine, Prosecco in Italy, because it's made with the Charmat method, a method that maintains the fruity character of the Glera grape variety. You get this beautiful brightness and welcoming character of a lovely Prosecco. But because it's Prosecco Superiore, DOCG from Valdobbiadene, with really steep hillside vineyards, you're getting complexity as well as friendliness. It's
Sounds
really
like
a great
putting it on the
list. Yeah. Delicious. And if you were in Italy, in the area of the Veneto, you'd be eating cicchetti, the little tapas, if you will, of the region. You'd be nibbling on a little prosciutto and a little piece of polenta with some salumi on it. You want something a little salty, because this is an extra dry, which means just a whisper of sweetness. So, and not sweet that you would get a really intensely sweet character, but just enough to give you that fruitiness that pairs with, Thai takeout on Tuesday. Say that fast 20 times. It's, again, a perfect holiday wine and a perfect wine with the price to have on, every night of the week.
Well, you said it's a welcoming wine, so I love this. I mean, I would drink this any day, put it in my mimosas, sit on the couch with some popcorn, a little bit of salt too.
That's right. It's just a really tremendous value and the highest quality of Prosecco Superiore. So great.
Oh, so good. It's hard to move off that one.
Now I'll go back to that one. Trust me, it's a palate cleanser.
All right, on to
let me just say one more thing about that, because we talked about food pairing and salty and sort of savory things with that. But, it's a beautiful brunch wine as well. If to pair with eggs and ham and Belgian waffles and fruit tarts and things like that. That's a perfect wine as well to go with that little sweeter side of the scale. So it's a very flexible food pairing wine.
I love that. I think it runs the gamut, from breakfast all the way to dinner, even into dessert, which is great.
That's right. You won't waste a bottle.
And you won't break the bank with this bottle either. So that's great.
No, that's great. All right. Now we're on red wine.
4. So this is the Oro Toro Enfermera Tempranillo right here. So something a little fun about this, but La Enfermera means the nurse, and it honors the soldiers from the Battle of Toro in 1476, and they treated their patients with wine. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd love to be going to the doctor and be treated with wine. But besides that, and a little bit of money, I mean, this is under $10. This is an amazing value, and it's 91 points.
It's, the beautiful thing about Spain, and I travel quite a bit to Spain and do a lot of education about Spanish wines. I've actually been to the region of Toro a couple of times, and Toro is the place, and it has this incredible expression of the grape variety, as you said, Tempranillo. Now, Tempranillo is the classic red grape variety of Spain, and it reaches pinnacles in Rioja, where, you know, not too far away from Toro, the classic region of Rioja, where I think Tempranillo expresses itself almost as more of an aged, you know, sort of lighter, more Pinot Noir-esque style, if you will, of the grape variety Tempranillo. Then you move to, you know, the Ribera del Duero, the banks of the Duero River, which runs through Spain, and then you get it over as the Douro in Portugal. But the Ribera del Duero is another famous region planted to Tempranillo, but you get a more intense and structured version of Tempranillo in Ribera del Duero. Then you get to Toro. Now, Toro is a high plateau on the banks of the Duero, and it's hot there. It's you know, dry, it's intense, it's gorgeously rustic and rugged when you're in Toro, and so historic, as you mentioned, with the Battle of Toro in 1476, I think, as you said. And so the history of Toro and the place itself really speaks to the wine, because Tempranillo has as an expression, or Tinta de Toro, as it's known in the area. Tempranillo here now is like rich Zinfandel. Now it's like big and bold and powerful, just like Toro, you know, the bull would sort of be. So, you know, there's these beautiful expressions of Tempranillo, as I said, across Spain, and culminating in Toro, where you get this intensity. And so when you look at the wine, it's deep, it's dark, it's bold, and you smell it, and now you get a sense of the earth. Take yourself to Toro. You're on a high plateau. You're on this, you know, there's beautiful rugged vineyards. It's warm. You're getting sun-baked. It's just lovely. And so you smell that in the glass. It's not all about fruit. It's about other things. And so then when you sip it, beautiful. It's begging for a little more thea, or blood sausage. It's begging for meat, grilled meat and barbecue. And I mean, the fact that this is, what did you say the price? $10?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you can't beat this. It's a full body, like really.
Yeah. Fantastic value. It's got some tannic grip to it, and it really speaks to, again, Tinta de Toro, to this boldness, to this intensity that you get from Tempranillo planted in Toro. So kudos to you. Good choice on this one.
Thank you. I don't want to put this down, but I feel like we do have a few others that we need to touch on today.
We have a few others. You can always go back to them. You have an open bottle, so you can always go back.
Yeah, that's right. So it's time to go back.
I'm so glad that you picked a Toro, because people don't really understand, I think, the beauty of this place. And so, you know, to share that with them is a treat. So.
Well, and I appreciate you took us on a little bit of a vacation with your description of the area and how you travel there and what it means. So thank you for that. So the next one, we are on wine number 3. This is the Kia Ora Signature. This is a Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc. And I don't know about you, but I love Marlborough Sauvignon Blancs. This is a really great representation. It's nice, it's crisp. You can't beat the price of this one. Oh man, passion fruit just jump out of the glass, and that is one of my favorite fruits and fragrances in the entire world.
Well, I think, you know, when we're talking about New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, and again, this is a place that I've been fortunate enough to travel to multiple times in search of great Sauvignon Blanc, in search of great Pinot Noir and Syrah. New Zealand has many, many things. It's known for its Sauvignon Blanc, but it has many, many things that are planted in the country. And you have 2 islands, the North Island and the South Island. And so Marlborough is on the northern tip of the South Island. And so you get, which means, you know, in the Southern Hemisphere, you're getting cooler as you go south, right? So, so we get this, Marlborough itself has an incredible amount of sunshine. And it's, you know, a beautiful wine growing region that's influenced by the water, but it has just beautiful sunshine. And that's where that lovely, but cooling breezes, again, those cooling breezes zip in and keep that acidity and that freshness locked into the grape varieties. So Sauvignon Blanc loves that. And what that does is that gives you that passion fruit, guava, a little hint of fresh herbs. You know, Sauvignon Blanc is known for its gooseberry character, or its, as they say in New Zealand. And so, or you know, freshly cut grass kind of example of it. And so you get all of that exploding from the glass. It shows the aromatic qualities of Sauvignon Blanc. And the name Kia ora, when you're in New Zealand, Kia ora is like hello, is like good day. Hey, Kia ora, right? Like, hi, everybody, how you doing? Kia ora. It's a Maori term. And, you know, the native culture of New Zealand is Maori. And so I've had a chance to actually get a Kia ora greeting from a Maori chieftain when I was in Marlborough on my last visit. And it's something, they do something called the hongi, which is where you touch noses to greet one another as another way of saying hello. I'm not sure we'll be doing that for any time soon right now, but it's a traditional way. So when you pick up, you say Kia ora, means, hey, hi, how you doing? Great day. And that's what you get with this wine.
Yeah, this is nice, bright. It opens your eyes. It greets you for the meal, and just nice to be so bright and happy, especially right now.
Well, and I think what it does is when you taste this wine, it gets you salivating, right? Mm-hmm. It's got such bright acidity and tart, fresh, citrusy fruit quality that your mouth starts salivating. You're going, I need food. I need food with this. Yeah. This is refreshing, but this is wine's job, is to get us ready for food and to complement food. And so it begs for freshly grilled fish or spicy shrimp or anything from the sea. It's a perfect option if you've got fresh salads, you know, with grilled peaches. I made a fresh salad, spinach salad with grilled peaches and a little bit of goat cheese the other night. And gorgeous. This would be gorgeous with it, right? So it really, its job is to pair, and you get this lovely herbal note that you can even pair this with asparagus, which is a tough one to pair. So it's really a lovely wine.
Man, that makes me so hungry, but it's some great options.
Stomach's growling right
now. Definitely. Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So
now that you've been to Spain and Northern Italy, and where else can I take you? Where else can you go? We can go to Chile. Okay.
Let's go to Chile.
All right.
So, our number 2, this is the Cabernario number 8 Cabernet Sauvignon. So we shouldn't be afraid to explore into Chile, and they have some amazing Cabernet. So this is a standout. This wine is made from some of the oldest vines in the entire world. It's pretty awesome that these get a chance to go in here. So when you have it, you have some really nice, bold richness that comes through this. And this is the first vintage that the winery has put out, and had 94 points from James Suckling. I mean, if we could put our first of everything and have such amazing scores to go with it, it's easy that this takes this number 2 spot on this list.
Well, people love Cabernet Sauvignon for a reason, because it has structure, it has power, it has finesse. And I think Chile is an underappreciated place for Cabernet Sauvignon. And Chile itself is a gorgeous country. Again, fortunate enough to have visited many times, north to south, in all along it. And I always say Chile, think of it as California, flip down, somersaulted down to South America, and then stretched really thin, right? So most of Chile is coastline. You know, you have so much of the wine region, so many of the wine regions from Casablanca, you know, to San Antonio, to Bio are all influenced by the coast. And this comes from the Maipo Valley around Santiago, really the most historic region in wine growing region in Chile. And Maipo is known as the home of, yes, not only some incredibly old vines, but ungrafted vines. So Chile was never affected, or mildly affected, but really not by a vine disease called phylloxera. And so because phylloxera devastated vineyards all around the world in the late 1800s, you've got wines that were grafted. All right. Mm-hmm. So meaning have a cut and paste. They took the rootstock that was impervious to this little bug, this little root louse phylloxera, and they cut and pasted different vines on top of it. So those are called grafted vines. Most of the vines in the world are grafted. Mm-hmm. And so when you have really historic vineyards that are ungrafted, and I notice that's what is on the label of this, ungrafted, It tells you something about it. It tells you the age of the, these are old vines that didn't go through that process. Not that that inherently makes it a better wine, but it gives you some old vine intensity, I think, to have that. And look for the Cabernets from Maipo are historic and really have a personality. Again, it's dark fruit. It's incredibly juicy fruit, but you're also getting these black licorice and cracked pepper and sort of gritty tannins on the feeling on the inside of your cheeks that just begs you for a bite of protein or fat, a big hunk of cheese, or a big bite of steak or a grilled mushroom. That's again, this really shows the place. This shows Maipo in Chile. So it's a delicious cab. Forget California cab.
I like all cabs, but I think for me, thinking about this as you talk about the ungrafted, it has a sense of purity. So pure Cabernet flavors and boldness. And, there are tannins in this, but, they're very well rounded. So they're nicely balanced. And I could drink this forever. It's so nice and smooth, but has that structure that can definitely hold on to it. So I'd love this with a piece of steak for sure.
Or a pizza, just a plain old pizza. I mean, this is a wine that won't break the bank again. So you can uncork it, enjoy it with a multitude of different foods. But again, when you have that little bit of grit that comes from the tannic structure, and tannins are a chemical compound in the skin, seeds, and stems of grapes, that as red wine gains its color during the winemaking process by soaking with the skins, you inherently are going to get some tannic structure. Tea has tannins, walnut has tannins, things that give you that gritty sensation on the insides of your cheeks. And it's softened by age, and it's softened by food. So it is. These are pleasantly, I call them kitty tongue tannins, where you just sort of like a little kitty is licking your hand, where you feel it, but it's pleasantly rough. And so when you pair that with food, it really shines.
That's a great way to explain it too, because I think a lot of people think they don't like tannins because sometimes they're just so incredibly overpowering, and sometimes that just needs a little bit of time with it, and they even out. So I love the way that you explain that. So thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right, I feel like we need a little bit of a drum roll because we are on to one. So
hang on. I'll give you a drum roll. There we go.
Thank you. So this is the Ranieri and Vetro. So this is an amazing Super Tuscan. This vintage has 92 points, and it's not the first time that they have received a rating on this. Actually, 8 years in a row, they have received over 90 points. It's pretty amazing. So this is why it makes the #1 spot. So let's take a look at it. Oh, beautiful.
Well, it's got deep dark color, and this is a 2016 vintage, right? So you're getting, when you're looking at the vintages and you're looking at the wine, as red wine ages, it actually gets lighter in color. White wine gets darker in color, a little more golden because of oxidation. If you cut an apple or a pear, right, what happens? It oxidizes, and so you get a little more color as white wine ages, but red wine does the exact opposite thing. So those color pigments that, again, come from that winemaking process start to fall out a little bit. You start to get a little lightness in color. So this 2016 really is showing that, it's a youthful wine, don't get me wrong, but it's showing that it has even more complexity that comes with age. So I'm smelling it. Yeah, this isn't all about fruit, and the fruit that's in here is more of a dried cranberry, or it's got some brightness, but it definitely has some chewiness that are on the aromas. This isn't just a freshly squeezed grape, right?
Yeah, there's some really nice earthy tones that come through it as well.
Right. And the blend on this wine is Merlot and Cab.
I believe
Sangiovese. Because Sangiovese, the blood of Jupiter, is the traditional grape variety of Tuscany. And again, Tuscany, I'll take you on one final trip to Tuscany. We're in the center of Italy in Tuscany. So many amazing places, so many amazing cities in Tuscany, to even take time to talk about that. But, so many amazing wine regions, from Chianti Classico, where you get Brunello di Montalcino. So Tuscany has its signature grape variety is, of course, Sangiovese, which gives you it's a grape variety that gives you acid, tannin, and power all at the same time. I call it the Italian stiletto heel of wine, right? It's gorgeous, but it hurts just a little bit until you add maybe some things. And maybe you break them in and then they're still gorgeous. You know, you give a little age to it. You blend them with a few other things. So this has Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon in it, and which sort of round out the tautness of Sangiovese. And then the key with all Italian reds and really Italian whites as well, but Italian reds is to pair it with food, right? What grows together goes together. And so you need some beautiful, rustic cuisine to go with this wine. It's got that character to just transport you to Tuscany in a sip.
Well, I think a lot of people think of, Italian and Tuscany and doing something with pasta or pizza, but what else would you recommend that could go with this?
Well, sure. Again, what grows together goes together. You'd think about, meat dishes with this. You'd think about cheese. You'd think about bolognese. You'd think about tomato sauces. You'd think about, but what's coming through to me right now, and wines like this change all the time. I put it in a really a beautiful glass that allows me to swirl it and really let it stretch out in the glass, and so it's going to change, especially as you spend time with the wine. So I'm thinking that I might do a little barbecue ribs with a savory barbecue rub, which usually I wouldn't do with something that has this sort of delicate rusticity to it. But I'm getting just this, as I said, sort of dried cranberry, crushed cranberry kind of character to this with a little tiny tannic grip to it. I think it can take a hint of something with a little sweet and savory, spicy barbecue. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is do some ribs, because I have an open bottle. I have 6 open bottles, so I've got to do something, right? So I'm thinking a little rub on the barbecue ribs. So step out of the comfort zone, right? I mean, I think this could even go, with a beautiful grilled salmon that was topped with grilled tomatoes, or something that brought in that other element. You don't have to pair red wine with red meat and white wine with fish. Not at all. It's about the herbs, the spices, the sauces. It's not really about the protein, So something with some flesh and power. Again, a grilled swordfish, a grilled salmon with Mediterranean herbs, with chopped tomatoes would be glorious with this.
I love that. Wow, it sounds like we did a good job of picking some amazing wines, amazing values.
So. You did a nice job. Food. You did a nice job on the top 6, right?
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today, Leslie. It was so much fun to be able to go through these, taste through, and kind of take a vacation together all throughout the world. So thank you for sharing all your experiences with us. Audience out there, I want to invite you to check out all top 20 wines at your local Total Wine and More store, as well as checking out our website at totalwine.com to shop these products and learn more about all of our upcoming virtual tasting events. So Leslie, again, thank you so much. This was so much fun. And I just want to, I'm going to go back to the Prosecco.
Me too. Chin chin. Thank you for having me. Chin chin.